What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining again for another Halloween Ends spoiler movie discussion. So, if you did not see this movie, and I don't know how you haven't yet, but if you have not seen this movie yet and you do not want to hear any spoilers, please turn off this video and come back after you've watched the movie. It'll make a lot more sense. It won't ruin things for you. And as a person who heard a lot of negative reactions even before I saw the movie, please go and see it for yourself and form your own opinion. I don't agree with going off of other people's opinions of a movie to decide whether you like it or not. So again, if you don't want to hear spoilers, turn this video off right now, go watch the movie on Peacock, and come back and we can talk more about it. Okay, so Halloween Ends. I did a full review of the movie and my thoughts a couple of days ago. Check that out. It's about an hour long, so it's a nice hefty video. You're probably gonna have to watch it in more than one sitting, but I run through basically the whole movie and my opinions. Um, so I tuned into I Like Scary's live stream yesterday, which was awesome. Shout out I Like Scary. Big fan. It's one of the biggest inspirations as far as making horror content, and I look forward to seeing what he's going to keep doing in the future. I also look forward to seeing some of his artwork and masks. He does do mask rehauls, so definitely check that out. Go follow and subscribe to him. Has some dope commentary on different things and the horror genre in general. So yeah, so fans are pretty split down the middle on whether they like this movie or not. Most people don't. I have my own opinions on why, and I want to talk about that. One of the main things I've taken away from hearing people's opinions and hearing different reviews and people's thoughts is people are really upset that Michael wasn't in this movie, basically. Like, and I understand that. I sympathize with that. I'm a huge Michael Myers fan. Michael Myers is like my Batman. But I do understand why he wasn't in this movie that much. I mean, I feel the anticipation is what they were trying to go for. It doesn't mean it was executed. I think they could have executed it a little better. I'm not a filmmaker, so I can't really say what was right and what was wrong, but I do agree that it could have been executed a little better. It could have been a little more Michael time on screen, but I do get creating the atmosphere and emphasizing on the fear of Michael and if he's going to come back and when. There's a lot of focus on Corey, which is awesome. I love that character. Rowan Campbell killed that role. I mean, in the literal sense of the word. Um, and that's another beef that I feel people have with it is that it was too focused on Corey and not enough on Michael. And it's not that they didn't like the character of Corey. It's just as the third installment of a trilogy, I can understand why did you choose to focus on a new character and build this new arc in the third act of your trilogy. You could have did it as an entirely separate movie, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. There were some things that could have been different in my opinion, but again, like there's a reason why they did it. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a director's cut, producer's cut, extended cut that you're going to be able to pick up in a couple of months. Like every movie does that now. It seems to be trendy. I called it from the beginning that um directors and producers caught on to how we are on YouTube and everything, and I think they like trolling people. I think they like playing with your emotions, and they said they were gonna do that from the beginning. So I feel that the fans that are kind of acting shocked should not be shocked. Like it was said, Jamie Lee Curtis said you're gonna hate this movie. Like she said it before the movie even released a trailer. So I don't understand the shocked reactions to this. And there's been worse in the franchise, so I don't understand what's the big deal, honestly. Um so the first topic I want to talk about is Michael's death and whether it justified an ending in this movie. Um I'm on the fence on that as far as like if it justified it or if it gave you closure, but on the topic of closure, it's said in the movie. I don't know if anyone caught this, but when Corey's dad is talking to Laurie, he straight up says there is no such thing as closure. So I feel like that was intentionally done 100%. Um, I feel like the producers and the writers, David Gordon Green, Danny McBride, and the other writers, I think they wanted to play with our emotions. They almost think of it as all right, the Scream franchise, super meta. I'm not gonna get into Scream, but super meta, and it's a movie that's aware that it's a movie within a movie world, and I feel like they really play with the audience's emotions. So I think that when they were writing this and when they were filming it, they almost made us Haddonfield. Like the fans, the diehard fans, we're Haddonfield. So and Corey in this movie is our boogeyman. Like it's almost like they wanted to piss us off so that that same anger and hatred and like aggression that was being felt in the movie, you're now feeling that as a community of fans, like hating this movie like if it's Michael Myers and demanding justice for it. Like in as a creative that likes making things, I fuck with that. Like, and I think that was awesome if that was what they were going for. If not, I still feel that that's what it created. I mean, there's petitions right now to reshoot the movie. Like, come on, it's not that serious. But of course, I would love to see another movie, you know. But I do feel they left it open to continue. Um, on that note, another thing people are kind of like angry about is that Corey kills himself in the end of the movie. You know, like kills himself. And I at first I was like, what the fuck, man? Like all this build up and everything, he's gonna fucking kill himself. But then I really thought about it. If you truly believe that Michael was transferring his evil and vice versa and going back and forth. And after yesterday's live streams and interacting in the comments with people, like I have more thoughts on that. But like, if you really believe that the evil is transferring from one body to another, and Michael was just like, I think Michael's body was just giving up. It was crapping out. I mean, the evil is going to keep going on, but the body and the flesh and the bone and all that was dying, and he needed something else. And maybe he was grabbing people into the sewers to find the next body, almost like Chucky. Like Chucky's been doing this in movies forever. Like it's not shouldn't be shocking. Not that it's been done in this franchise, but why not? You know, they've done everything else. Um, but if you really truly believe that, like I do, then Corey's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. I mean, Michael's not. They made you know that Michael's not coming back. But in reality, it's almost like a Batman situation. Like I said, Michael's my Batman. And what does Batman say? Like, Batman can be anybody. It's just a mask. It's what the person underneath is doing. And I think they're really going that route. I think a couple of times in this movie, Corey kind of was like showing that he was trying to see how far he can take it. And he notices the change. Like, when he jumps off the roof and gets up and does a 90-degree angle thing, like, he's testing his body. And by the way, that movie, a lot of people brought up Lost Boys and everything. I haven't heard anyone bring up The Crow. And I really feel that it was similar to when in The Crow, Eric Draven jumps off the roof when he first comes back from the dead and lands in a pile of garbage and starts laughing. And I really feel that Corey was doing the same thing. Like he was talking to Allison, but he was testing to see how far he can push his body with this new ability. And if you listen to him laugh when he's laughing with Doug and he's fucking with Doug before he goes into the sewer, that laugh is so similar to Eric Draven's laugh in The Crow, and it's hard to not notice that if you're a diehard Crow fan like I am, and I appreciated that. Even if it wasn't done on purpose, like it took me back to that time, and I appreciated that because that movie's awesome. That grittiness, that it had the same feel to me, like those kind of movies. Now, as far as Corey stabbing himself in the throat, um, that was a little extreme as far as like even if you're gonna bring him back, it's understandable. There's worse things that have happened to Michael in Halloween Kills, and he came back, and people aren't saying anything. But I, in my opinion, if they do bring him back, that's gonna be another reason for him to be just like Michael and not talk, because clearly that knife was big enough to sever his vocal cords, go through the other end of his neck, and he should have been dead. Like Allison looks him in his eyes, homie's dead, man. Like he's gone. But when Michael comes back and he's around him, he wakes back up. And that's not very different from other movies that we've seen Michael do stuff like that. I've seen people complain about the scene of Corey and Michael wrestling a little bit. And how can Corey do this? Well, yeah, Michael has like super strength and shit like that. But think about from him killing his sister to being in the hospital. Okay, it's a long time that he did what he did, and a lot of anger and rage, whatever it was building up inside of him. Then you have 78, where he does the events of 78, and surprise, surprise, guys, he was barely in that movie. Like, he was barely in the original Halloween. It's almost like Alien, that you only see the xenomorph until like the last act of the movie that you really see it, and that's what made it fucking scary. So like this whole idea of like, oh my god, Michael wasn't in this movie, like it's not the first time it works in horror. It may not have worked for you in this movie because when they did show him, how they portrayed him, which is I think the real issue here, not that he wasn't in the movie. Now, okay, back to 78. Loomis shoots him 6 times, emphasizes that he shot him in the heart, falls out a 2-story window. Exactly how Corey gets shot, falls down the stairs, all that shit, right? Now, in this trilogy, we get the flashback scenes where he comes outside after all this shit, and the cops are surrounding him, and he's just standing there. Like, we know based off Halloween Kills, he could have ran through everybody in that area, including Loomis, got shot 17 times, and walked away into the night. We know this. So he consciously chose to say, I'm done for tonight. Take me back to the hospital. Like, and then you got the fact that he's in a mental institution. They're gonna heal him. They're gonna make sure he's okay. They're not gonna leave him there to die. As much as people would think that you should, which it's Michael Myers, like you definitely should, but that's not how the world works. And in the universe that we're watching these movies in, it's pretty realistic on what they're trying to go for. So like you gotta understand that like his wounds were treated over this time, over these 40 years that he's been locked up. Dr. Sartain says he's clearly like aware of everything. He knows how to talk. He knows how to do all that shit. So he's definitely just kind of like doing what he did as a kid, just kind of like holding it in and waiting for whatever time it is. And again, if Michael wanted to fucking break out, he would have broke out. Like, he can take gunshots, so what difference does it make? He has super strength. What difference does it make? Like, he could have killed everybody in the hospital with his bare hands, no knife needed, and walked right out, but he didn't. So again, conscious decision. So everyone's saying this, Michael's kind of like on off the rails and just killing machine, all this. Not really, because for 40 years he just chilled. Like, so he's not this killing machine with no motive. We don't know what that motive is, but it's not that he doesn't have a motive. Like, he's definitely has some kind of motive, some kind of drive. And they showed us that with Corey, his motives and everything. And yes, he's wearing, like I said in my previous video, he's wearing the Michael getup, but like, he's not Michael. Like, he's not doing it for the same reasons. He's not killing or chasing anybody for the same reasons. He fully has motives for every single person he kills in this movie. And whether or not it leads him to transcend into evil and turn into the new Myers, it's going to be a new story regardless. If they pick up from here and Corey comes back, it's not going to be the Laurie Michael story. It's going to be the Corey Allison story. And Lindsay says it in it. It's a nail in the coffin of Allison's life. Something's going to end. Something's going to begin. Yeah, the bullshit with your grandmother and being obsessed with Michael Myers is over. He's grinded up. His body's gone. It's over. But now it's your problem, because now you have this connection to Corey, which we all know he's going to come back. And that's where it's going to pick up a new story, because we haven't seen much of Allison in these last 2 movies. Maybe that's why. Maybe because they didn't want to really dwell on Allison when it should be about Laurie. Whether they executed that perfectly, that's another story. But that's my thoughts on that. So that brings me to the main reason I'm making this video, which was sparked in some conversations with other fans last night in the live stream, and some topics that everyone brought up that was hosting that stream. Is where do we go from here? What's next? What's next in this franchise? Because we all love this franchise. We all know there's millions of filmmakers out there that love this franchise. So someone's going to pick it up. Whether it's a fan movie, which I'm all for. I love fan movies. I know everyone doesn't have the budget to make a big movie, and to me, the story and the idea behind it sometimes is a little more important than the production value if you can't afford it. You know, don't let your reach in what you can do stop you from doing it. Like there's where there's a will, there's a way. It doesn't have to be this $1 million motion picture. I mean, not everyone can do that, but you can get your idea out there some way somehow. So here's some theories that were either brought up or some theories of my own. One, my personal feeling, what I wanted to see while I was watching the movie was I don't think they should have showed Michael snap Corey's neck, because I feel like because it was Michael doing it, it kind of led us to believe that that was it. And I really don't think that was originally in the movie. I think they were gonna leave it at he stabbed himself in the neck and leave it open and not show the body. What I personally think would have been awesome is the scene after they pinned Michael to the table. If Hawkins would have showed up after the call, and when he comes through the front door, us not seeing Corey's body to begin with. Maybe not showing that, but like maybe not emphasizing on that, but like Corey's body's not there by the stairs. Um, there's no knife by the floor over there. There's no mask because Michael has it. So like even if the body's there, they're gonna think that Michael killed him. So I would like to have seen Hawkins run into the kitchen, see Michael pinned to the table, ask Laurie what's going on. Michael's dead. Corey was out doing this, this, and this, and then being like, all right, so where's Corey? Where'd he go? Oh, well, he's dead. Where? And go over there, and he's gone on some 78 shit. Cut to maybe a morgue scene, like I've heard other people say too, Corey waking up or whatever, or even not even doing that. Just leave it that he's gone, just like on 78. Like, don't even explain why he's gone. We all know why he's gone. We all know why he survived. So you don't even have to show that. Just show him gone, so we could leave it open, and they can deal with that later because now they're dealing with Michael. Okay, so if we got that and Corey dips off, the whole Michael thing happens, they kill Michael, whatever. Um, what would happen after that? How would they bring him back? In what way? Me personally, my idea would be pay Jamie Lee Curtis whatever fucking money that she needs for the 10 seconds that she needs on screen, and really end this shit the right way, that they both die. You know, this isn't a story that I love that they gave her happy ending, but in reality, I don't think it would have went down that way. So what would happen? Corey, you know, he's obsessed with Allison, so he wants Allison, but he also wants the mask. Who has the mask? Laurie has the mask. So, you know, have a little scene with Laurie on the phone with Allison because she left, and be like, oh, I'll see you this weekend, Grandma. I have so much to tell you. And hang up the phone, or not even hang up the phone. While she's having that conversation, have Corey creeping in the background, grab the mask, put it on, kill Laurie on the phone, bro. Like do that. Give Laurie and Allison that Karen and Laurie moment, that deleted scene. That would be awesome, in my opinion. You know, that's my opinion. But kill Laurie and have Allison being like, Grandma, 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 whatever, and Corey get on the phone and give the whole breathing thing. Because when she hears the breathing, she's going to know it wasn't Michael. She's going to know it wasn't Michael because Michael's gone. She watched Michael's head explode. So it's not Michael. She's going to know it's fucking Corey. And she's going to come back for that shit because she's going to want to avenge her grandmother. Another thing that was brought up, that someone brought up, was, what if Allison's pregnant? You know, like, hear me out on that. Like, because I agree with that. I think that's a possibility. Like, they do go up to the room and have sex and all that. So, you know, like, what if she got pregnant and Corey was evil as hell already? Like, he had just killed somebody. At that, like, he just killed your ex-boyfriend. So, like, that would be a crazy way to have her get pregnant, almost on some Scream shit. Like, Billy's doing all these killings and then trying to go, like, the whole thing is he's trying to hook up with Sydney, and she's not letting it happen. But like, imagine Allison's pregnant, and this kind of goes down the route of Halloween 6, and either you can go two ways. We can have Corey come back, find out she's pregnant and kind of like want to go after her for the baby for whatever reasons. Because again, Corey's not Michael, so we don't know if he's gonna, always have the mask, if he's still gonna have a human aspect to him or whatever. But like, imagine like Corey kind of going after the baby, or that's why he goes after Allison for like kind of like hiding that from him, or whatever. Or maybe Corey doesn't come back. Allison's pregnant, has the baby, time jump to Michael's age, and the baby kill Allison, or the baby kills somebody, or the kid kills somebody, and it be because that evil transferred from Corey into the baby. Like, I think that would be a cool idea to explore. I'm not 100% sold on that, but like I think that would be cool. Like it's an option. I mean, Halloween 6, we all know, even though there's different cuts, we all know that's Michael's baby. Like they kind of get it. They tell you that it's Michael's baby. Um, and that's a storyline that, even though so many people really dislike the Thorn series, I for one did like it, and I would like to have seen that explored. I mean, it was cool, so it's always an option. It's always there. Another theory is that, what if they would have brought Danielle Harris back, and instead of getting Karen and the story with Karen and Allison, what if we had Danielle Harris continue the story from Halloween 4, that's her daughter, and she's still Michael's sister, and instead of her faking her death, she just had the kid and she went on to live her life. And what if Danielle Harris, is kind of annoyed, kind of like how Allison is, with the whole situation, and she's tired of hearing it, and she doesn't want to deal with it, and people pick on her, and people, kind of what they were doing with Corey. Because in that light, you can go two different directions. We already had a movie that Jamie, basically turns into Michael at the end, so you can explore something with that, and or have the typical reasons. We have that lined up, and then that's why Michael's coming back, and just have someone else in it that's already has a connection to the franchise, because then you wouldn't have to build all these new characters. We already know who Jamie Lloyd is. We already know who Laurie Strode is, and I don't think so much explanation would have been needed, and there's so many options you can go from there. And another option could be, what if the evil went into Allison? Allison drove off. Allison was pissed this whole movie. Like, she was fucked up. I mean, think about it. You got both your parents were butchered by this guy. And then your grandmother's friends were all butchered by this guy and tortured. Like, she tortured your grandmother for all these years. Then your boyfriend gets murdered. His father gets murdered. All your friends get murdered. Then you try to live your life. And you come back, you get this new boyfriend who does the same shit. And then he gets murdered. All because of Michael, and all because of this whole situation. So like that's just gonna build up, build up, build up, build up. What if she snaps? Like, I wouldn't mind seeing a movie that with a fucked up Allison, and she doesn't have to be running around with a mask on. Yes, we all want to see Michael. We all want to see the mask, whether it's Silver Shamrock masks, or the clown mask, or the scarecrow mask, or there's always a mask. It's Halloween. But what if she's just nuts? Like, what if it's almost like a battle. Like, she starts getting into shit with people, and she's so angry that she can't deal with it anymore. So every time someone pisses her off, she kills them. And whatever, tries to kind of like cover that up, and until it gets to the point that she's just killing everybody. That's just an idea to throw out there. I mean, it can go a million ways. But yeah, that's some of the things that were running through my head last night after watching this live stream. Again, shout out I Like Scary, because it was really enjoyable, man. Like, I really fucked with it. This community, even though we're like horror fans, like a lot of people think that we're fucked in the head, which may be true, but we're not evil. We're not. We enjoy this shit, and I really enjoy how the community is very accepting, because I'm a part of a lot of different subcultures that things that I do and everything, and you know, I would honestly say that, other than how passionate people are about their movies, everyone's pretty positive and everyone's pretty accepting of different ideas and different outlooks, because the genre that we love is so bugged out that anything's possible, you know? And like, look at David Gordon Green is going from making this trilogy to doing an Exorcist trilogy. So I really feel like he was kind of sprinkling a little bit of that in there. I mean, whether it's necessary or not, it doesn't bother me. But like, I definitely see that. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that. Again, I don't think he ruined the franchise like some people did. There's ups and downs. There's worse movies in the fucking trilogy in the franchise. Um, and even those bad movies are enjoyable. Like people say they hate Halloween Resurrection. It's fun to watch. Like it's stupid, but it's fun to watch. Halloween 5. I enjoy Halloween 5. I don't have a problem with his mask. Like I actually have more of a problem with the Halloween 4 mask than I do the Halloween 5, to be honest. H2O, awesome movie. Yes, the CGI mask, all that shit was stupid. They used different masks, but like, shit happens. Like that's something we had to talk about 10 years later, 15 years later, and we wouldn't be doing the things that we're doing now if it wasn't for all these mistakes being made. Like 10 years from now, we could be having a whole different conversation about Halloween Ends same way we're having a whole different conversation about Season of the Witch. And that's another movie I want to make a video about because I grew up hating that movie without even properly watching it. I never watched it in its entirety because I hated that Michael Myers wasn't in it. And I think maybe once I watched it in its entirety very young and it was like, whatever. But now, older and being a big horror fan and understanding things a little differently, I love the movie. I watched it the other night and I watched it back to back with Halloween Ends and Halloween 2. And I will definitely have to say the score on Halloween 3, John Carpenter murdered that. Like that, the music to that movie is so good. You can clearly see the Halloween influence on it. I really feel like the music is just as important as Michael Myers himself. And even though you don't see Michael on screen, more people look forward to hearing that music than they do looking forward to seeing that mask. And keep that in mind when you watch these movies. That sets the tone, that sets the feelings, sets the mood, sets everything. And he murdered that movie. And I really think without that in any of these movies, we wouldn't feel the way we feel about this. So, much respect to John Carpenter. I play with music a little bit too, so I really respect that, and I always enjoy it. And that being said, that's a wrap for this video. Please shoot me your thoughts and feelings on anything in the comments. I'd love to discuss this more. I do want to continue doing more horror content. I really enjoy this. I'm the Scream 6 right around the corner. Outside of Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, and so I'm a big Scream fan. That's my second favorite franchise for a lot of reasons, which I'll get into in other videos. But yeah, Scream 6 right around the corner, and it takes place in New York, so it's like I've been waiting for that my whole life. No one ever wants to do anything in New York because they know we get Gully and we ain't gonna play that shit. But like, I want to see how that plays, and yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to doing some videos and discussions on that very soon. I want to talk about the whole franchise as it stands right now, how I felt about Scream 5, which I love, by the way. Um, and what I'm looking forward to going into Scream 6. There's also talks of Friday the 13th returning this year, which another great movie. Um, Looking forward to that. And yeah, there's a lot coming up in horror. People seem to be getting back into like slasher movies and just having fun with things again. So I feel like even with the Marvel universe and all these movies, like there's a point where it's like we don't want realism. We need an escape from reality, not go into a deeper reality. So that being said, I hope everyone has a good day. Watch some scary movies, have some fun, and enjoy yourself.